Greetings, Uncle Travelling Matt here, and it's the end of day one of our Bongo Scotland trip, which is the third of the big trips that we've taken in this, our Bongo van, which we call Bongo. It's actually kind of technically not really the end of day one, because it should have been. We should have started this morning, and we should have set off really early and driven up from Stoke as far as we could, but kind of aiming for Skye, or at least the Caerleon Localsh. But last night, about 9:30, when we got everything ready, we thought, well, why don't we knock a couple of hours off then to save the time today? And it was literally a last-minute decision. I mean, I was kind of tired because I'd driven to Birmingham and back with work, but we just thought, like, why not? You know, what have we got to lose? And so we drove up, and we're kind of hoping to get to Scotland, because you can sleep at the side of the road in Scotland, where you can't do that in England, apparently. But got as far as Penrith, and I was really tired. You know, we'd done over 200 kilometres anyway, so we'd knocked a big chunk off the journey. So I said, okay, we'll get a travel lodge. So we looked one up. There was one at Penrith, just off the motorway. So we got to the travel lodge, and we said, we got any room? And they said, no, we're all booked up. So we were like, okay, we've got to, thwack on a bit more. I said, because normally, we just sleep by the road, but you can't do that in England. And they said, well, sleep here. So I said, well, are you sure? They're like, there's no cameras, we don't mind. So we actually slept the first night in the car park of a travel lodge in Penrith. So thanks, guys, for that. That was really good, because that really helped us no end. And what was amazing is it was next to a Greggs. So in the morning there was a breakfast waiting for us, so we could thwack on again. And we're really glad we did, because actually it was a hell of a long drive. Even with those couple of hours knocked off, was still a pretty hefty drive all the way up to the Isle of Skye, which is where we are now. We're now just over the bridge from the Caerleon Localsh, and we're in a very nice spot next to the sea on the Isle of Skye. Although it's a bit annoying, because there are loads and loads of midges here, and we've literally having to be wearing like head nets, and that's why I'm in the van, because out there you can't do anything. Like, literally they are just swarming all over you. And of course, midges are famously a big problem in Scotland. And last time we went on a road trip to Scotland, to the Orkney Isles, several years ago, and they were a huge problem then, and it ain't got better. So we do have head nets, and we also have smidge, which is like the midge spray. So, what have we done today? Well, we woke up pretty early for us. That was pretty good. We were on the road by around 9. And then we drove straight up the M6, and it becomes the M70-something, 74, I think. Same road. And then through Glasgow. So, tiny little bit of traffic in Glasgow, but that was it. And then we stopped by Loch Lomond, and we stopped at a village called Luss, literally just because it's a place to stop. And we thought, oh, we could get some food. But it was a really pleasant little village. It looked like it had been kind of constructed in the 19th century as part of an estate. It had obviously been designed as a whole. It was really, really pretty. Really nice on the lake. I've been to Loch Lomond before, but not been to that part. And it was great, but very busy. And we're finding that, like, everywhere it's just really busy with domestic tourists, which is a bit of a shame, really, because I like places to myself. Although we are going to the wildest bits of Scotland later. We're going to the Hebrides and right up the northwest corner, so probably be a bit quieter there. Although so far Skye doesn't look to be remotely quiet at all. Although my Scottish friend doesn't like Skye because there are so many tourists, so maybe I shouldn't expect it to be quiet on Skye. So, yeah, we stopped at Luss. That was nice. Then we carried on, filled the car up, and went on to Fort William. And at Fort William, we stopped for a while because Thomas needed some walking boots. He'd outgrown his other ones. And we also needed to buy a few other bits and pieces. And then there was, wanted to have a look around. I had been very briefly during our Orkney trip, but that was it. And it was quite interesting in Fort William. We got the butts and we got the other bits and pieces. We wanted to get a meal, but everywhere was shut. I don't know why. The place was rammed with tourists. It's like Tuesday, 3 o'clock in the afternoon, and all the cafes, more or less, were shut. We eventually found one place, and it said it was a Thai and Indian cuisine place. It wasn't. It was Indian. And the food was absolutely horrendous. It was awful, really bland, really boring, and cost an absolute fortune. So, big thumbs down for that place. It is one of the worst places I've been to eat. It was that bad. So that was a low point of Fort William. Another low point was the fact that my bank card, which I've been using all the way up, wasn't taken in any of the machines, and there is obviously an issue with the card itself, not with the account. So I had to go into the post office and get cash there. So I am okay for cash, but it was a bit of a worry then. A nice point, the high point though, was I decided to pop into the railway station because it's the start of the most famous railway line in Britain, probably the Fort William to Mallaig, which was used, of course, in the Harry Potter films, all that kind of stuff. And they often run steam specials on there, and I just thought, okay, I wonder, will I find a steam train, sitting in a siding or something? And there were no trains when I came in, and literally I walked onto the station platform, and a steam-hauled express pulled in, and it was great, and I got to look at it. It was an old LMS engine, and they let Thomas go on the footplate, so that was pretty cool. So yeah, so that was Fort William, and then we motored on. We stopped near a place called Invergary to look at the view, and there was another Bongo there, and it was a British-Chinese family, and they'd hired it, and they were on holiday. They came from Bishop Stortford, and yeah, it was cool because we had a really nice chat with them. They were very nice, and great views, but the midges were starting to be a problem then, and I guess the views is what you come to Scotland for. The scenery is absolutely incredible. It is some of the greatest scenery I've ever seen. I think it's surpassed by Iceland and the Faroe Isles, but that is about it, I think, so far. And there are similarities with both of those places. So we carried on. Absolutely stunning drive from Invergary towards Lochhalsh. We stopped by this church. I don't know the name of the place, but we saw this ruined church, and we thought that looked quite interesting. And Tom tried out his drone, got it working there. It was pretty good. And I had a look in this churchyard. There was a nice little kind of hill next to it, which I climbed and looked over the bay and stuff. And then having a look at the graves, I think everybody in there had the surname McRae. So yeah, it was obviously a Clan McRae area. We then went to Kyle of Lochhalsh, had some tea there. It was a Thai woman was serving like pizza and bits of chicken, and we had that, and then crossed over the bridge to Skye, and we're here now. There's a stunning view through the window of the bay, but the midges make it absolutely worthwhile going out there. So that's that. Tomorrow, our plan is to explore the Isle of Skye. We've got a whole day in Skye. We have to end up at a place called Uig, or Uig, I don't know how you pronounce it, UIG, because then early the following morning, we've got a ferry to the Outer Hebrides. So that's it. Our Scotland trip is now well underway, and yeah, tune back for more. Keep travelling.